I'm all right. How are you, Doug?
I'm good. I'm a bit tired.
Yeah.
We've been on quite a long dog walk. So
Oh, lush.
yeah, that's the
Look.
thing. So I moved down to well, I moved down to Plymouth like to be with my parents for the second lockdown.
Oh, cool. Yeah, me too. Not
So
Plymouth,
yeah,
but my parents.
yeah. No, I saw that you moved that you moved in with your parents. I think the last lockdown as well. I think.
Yeah. It's
How's
been a
it been?
lot.
How's it been treating you?
I'm just very grateful. They're amazing, and we all get on really well. But it's just been strange, hasn't it? Like I've never.
Yeah,
This is the longest I've ever not played a gig in my whole life.
this is probably the longest I've not been to a show in my
Yeah, I was
whole
just
life.
gonna just thinking that,
Because I think
and it.
it's, I mean, like, well, having said that, I was actually at a show last Saturday because in Plymouth, occasionally they are allowed to have
You're
such things.
allowed to.
And so, like,
Oh,
I was watching like a local Plymouth math rock artist playing in a place called the Underground. And they've gone from like 175 kind of capacity standing to, I think it was like 38 tables.
right. Oh,
36 or
wow.
something. Yeah,
I didn't, was it good? I mean, anything. It's all you've got to get creative, I guess. And I bet it was still like really nice to
yeah.
just go and see something happening.
I mean, for me, it was just like really great to actually be able to feel live sound. So
Mm.
when you
Yeah, yeah.
like, and that's like it's like that sort of thing of being able to like whether I knew anyone else who was there, it didn't really matter because of it. It was like we were all friends by the end of the night, sort of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was also that the guy who ran it really well. He made sure everyone was really safe. He made sure he was like fully prepared for when the COVID police came round.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, he printed out and ring bound the entire 75-page dossier on the legislation,
That's
and
great.
so even when the COVID police person did as he expected come round,
Mm.
he even made him like sanitize his hands on the way in.
Nice,
It's like,
nice, nice.
yeah, you've got to,
Good work.
treat it with respect because it's
Oh,
like
totally, yeah.
because it's a concert hall. Even if
Hmm.
it's seen as a dungy DIY like kind of um, like toilet style venue, you've got to treat these places with respect.
Yep. Too right.
Yeah,
Talking my language.
yeah, exactly. I know. But actually, the last time I would have seen you would have been at the lead mill.
I know, and it doesn't seem that long ago, does it?
Well, it's kind of
Or
weird
does
because
it?
it's like I kind of forget about some of the things which kind of have happened because obviously
Mm.
the prolonged kind of inactivity that it's been really difficult to sometimes go like, oh well, fuck, that was only less than a year ago.
And
It doesn't
it's
feel like
very weird.
it doesn't feel like the same year, let alone the same decade.
I don't even feel like the same woman. It's all
Yeah.
changed.
But I think that's the thing. But then I think that it's also like probably made us reflect on things, like the way that we probably some things that we probably did take for granted.
Massively. I will
Yeah,
never complain on tour ever again,
yeah. You say
she
that when
says.
you say that about 10 dated
I
when
mean, yeah, I'll do my normal natural amount of complaining that I do in general life, but
yeah.
I well, I was getting to this place anyway where I thought I hated touring,
Mm,
and then touring as self-esteem has been like so sort of magical and nourishing
mm,
that I was like, oh, I don't hate it anymore, and I want to do more of it. So I was already on this like road of sort of accepting what it is and being
mm.
really grateful that I get to do it. So I
Yeah,
mean, they just chucked in a global pandemic to make me really sure.
yeah. But then also what I thought was, especially with the last show that I saw you do, what I really liked was the way that you played around with the choir. And actually, I think
Yeah, I love it.
that's something which I think, because especially if you're working, especially more with people to help build up their self-esteem, sort of thing, pardon the pun,
Yeah,
sort of
yeah.
thing, then actually I think that that's a really good thing to do.
Oh, totally. Yeah, and I love those guys, and uh, that whole gig actually, it's like such a special one for me.
Mm,
And you know, here's to more, I hope.
That was the very first time I'd been in the lead mill. So
I know, I can't believe that.
that's the thing is, though, because I'd never been. Well, the only times I'd ever been to Sheffield were for the Sheffield Doc Festival. So
Oh, yeah, yeah.
they were like screening short films which I'd made. So I'd
Mm.
never really been to Sheffield that much, and so it was for me. It was like I'm just gonna pull this back so I can actually see a bit better, so I can actually have some more
That's
light.
better. Yeah, find your light, Jeff. Find your
Yeah,
light.
exactly. Well, yeah, exactly. Well, I've definitely been finding that a lot more recently. But I mean, like, yeah. So when I walked through there, I literally felt like a kid in a candy shop.
Yeah, I love it.
So if I was a bit like kind of, I don't know, if I was ever a bit like more silent and awkward than usual, that's probably so like go, wow, okay, I'm still taking this all in. Especially
Yeah.
when I got taken on the tour of the building, and I was just like, wow,
Man, the people that have played there.
I know, I know. Well, I saw like Jarvis Cocker's like kind of posters that he'd done for Pulp and stuff like that, and I was like, yeah,
Whoa.
my 15-year-old self would be freaking out. Would be like
Yeah.
kind of like going, okay. I mean, I pretty much was almost hyperventilating just because of being there.
That's so nice.
Well,
I
especially when you
still, sorry,
for
go on,
me,
Doc.
sorry, especially when you hear like so much about venues, when you actually sometimes arrive in them, you do feel like a kind of there is a magical aura about some of them.
There is there, and it's got such a like they haven't like done it up for much or anything. Like, and I love that. It's been the same for so long.
Mm,
It's a real dream of mine to Self Esteem to play that big room,
yeah,
which I don't know. We're currently talking about what you know venues for the second album tour and stuff like that, and I was like, could we do it?
I
Is it
think you could.
possible? I think I could, Jeffrey.
I think you
Let's do
definitely
it.
could. I think especially like I mean also like within like kind of giving people space to move around as well. I
Yeah,
think
yeah, socially
yeah,
distance.
exactly. Yeah,
Fine,
yeah.
easy.
No, I tell you what you should
30
do
tables.
is that you should get everyone to be in Zorbs, like in
Yeah,
the
even
main
if
room,
it's yeah,
like the
if it's
Flaming
all
Lipstick.
over, I personally would still like my gigs to be socially distanced. So I'm building these huge rooms,
Yeah, but
arena tour.
but you can also do. But the thing is, though, is I think that with doing some of the things, like obviously, like there's a whole stuff like obviously lots of artists are having to think about creative ways of live streaming, and I mean that's also another way which I think venues could also benefit some income is by doing stream shows, sort of
Yep.
thing. And if they asked to like charge maybe it's a bit like what they did at was it in London where they were doing where one of the venues was like kind of charging it'd be like 15-20 quid for the physical for the actual being there or like 10 quid live stream.
Yeah, totally. I've been watching some theatre stuff that way, like, 'cause I've been in Sheffield like full lockdown now for second time around in 12 weeks.
Wow.
Uh, so yeah, it's been weird because obviously like my friends in London and stuff, people are
Right.
and me and so I've made sure to sort of be at least streaming stuff so I
Yeah.
don't feel quite so disconnected.
But it's also like so so how are you using stuff with like kind of Instagram and stuff like that? Case of like
What
I've
to
seen it,
watch?
yeah, all like stuff that so I've seen that you've been very proactive as if in like you know either streaming or doing things where you're trying to like engage with other people.
Yeah, I as soon as it hit I was like, okay, what can I do? And certainly the first lockdown it was like everyone's really in the same boat and me and my friend Kelly had already been talking a lot about festivals with like no women on the bill and stuff like
Yeah.
that, and so we were already going to maybe try and do like a 1 day event of just women all day, and so as soon as the lockdown and it was just a very sort of far away idea, and then as soon as the lockdown kind of thing happened we were like, oh, maybe we could do it as a stream thing.
Yeah.
And then Instagram, I was like, I think you know that meme with all the maths equations on it. I was like,
Yeah.
how do you? Because I was like, I know I can go live on my Instagram and play a game.
Yeah.
So anyway, long story long, I was like, if we make an Instagram account that everyone logs into, and and it's just like a all day festival, and it went pretty smoothly.
Yeah.
It was fine until we had a bit of nudity, and then we were
Oh yeah.
obviously, and they kicked us out.
Of course, because like they're overly sensitive, aren't they? Sometimes, some of the sensitive.
Yeah, but that's fine, and I loved it. That's kind of like a real achievement, and we raised like about $8,000 for
really
Women's Aid,
going.
and it was incredible. I really, I felt like we'd really achieved something, and it was important. And also, I'm gonna try and pandemic as a festival.
Yeah,
it's something I want to do in the future now. Anyway, so that's been good, and just staying engaged. It helps me. Like people are like, thank you so much for doing the exercise. I'm like, nah, man, thank you. I'm like, be isolated, and I think had I not been this engaged online with people who are like me, I think I would have regressed somewhat.
I mean, like
teenage girl version of me.
I think I would have regressed to like the spotty 10-year-old version of me. Just be
it's
like
really easily done, isn't it?
Yeah, but the thing is that I mean, like, because even doing stuff like this has really helped me. Because the thing is that I've told loads of people before, but I do struggle with like sometimes non-face-to-face communication, and so like being able to see people's faces makes it so much easier. I mean, so like having technology like Zoom has actually been like a bit of a godsend, because otherwise, and Instagram and stuff. Because also what I really loved, because I did catch like some of the sets for the festival sort of thing, like Kate Stapley and stuff like that. And it's just like there's some of the sets that just made me want to kind of run into a room and just give them a hug.
I know. There was something so sweet about it, and I loved we all sort of watched everyone, and I adored it. I kind of like want to do another one, but part of me thinks let's keep it at that, and then work towards a real live one, real in the room one with the same artists. I think would be really cool.
Yeah, I think that'd be great. But then also like, it's like it's also important to like give people a sense. I guess it's like I'm not quite sure how to phrase things, because like I think it's about like if you could inspire people to help keep a positive mentality.
Yes, that's kind of been my focus. Just same again though, selfishly, because it helps me. Like, given the chance, I'll go down in the hall and be like, "Well, everything's ruined, and there's no point." And so it was really vital that I kept my head above water anyway, and sort of inviting other people to come and join me doing the things that I know work gave me a bit of accountability to make sure I don't sack it off. So it's been an amazing sort of experience in a weird way, and especially when we go back to playing live gigs, like I already want Self Esteem to feel like more than a band you go and see. Like I want it to feel like an experience, sort of art, immersive art experience. And now we're going to be playing gigs with people that I've meditated with, people I've exercised all year with. I don't know, there's something intimate and sort of lovely about it, and it's a community feeling that I've always wanted to have. So not to be thankful for a pandemic, but
also it gives you a chance of like thinking of like creatively, what kind of world do you want to explore? Do you like kind of like like whenever I think of artists who can really take me into their world, I always think of like Björk. Okay, she's got big, massive, lavish set production, but it's always like kind of like that there's going to be something magical, or like David Byrne, for instance. Where I mean, okay, they're probably a bit like kind of bigger stage shows, but in terms
they're two very big inspirations, and definitely where I want to take it when I've got them budgets, when I got that Björk budget.
But even the thing is that you can do something really simple as well. Because actually, I think that it's as much as people go, "Oh, it's got to be really high tech." No, it doesn't.
You're right.
You just look. I mean, look at you can just like you can have like the whole performance, but based like around candles.
Yep.
And it could be like kind of like really simple, but like kind of beautifully symbolic sort of thing.
Totally, yeah. There's loads you could do. I mean, I'm the queen of going, all right, I want to achieve this very enormous thing on not very much money. So
Yeah.
how do we do it? I'm currently planning the music videos for the next album, and
Oh,
yeah, I mean, yet again, it's another like, and it's a struggle. It's a really painful sometimes struggle to not be able to realize what I want to artistically. But
mm.
having said that, the payoff is always so great, and yeah, I mean that's part of, I mean, what I am as an artist, I think, is making something from nothing.
I think I think that's the thing is I think that's what most kind of artists do struggle with. I mean, the past couple of days, admittedly, I've been in Bristol for work. Well, I say work. I mean, like, I had to film, which is like, well, I mean, like, I've got like a kind of exhibition potentially happening next year,
Oh, amazing.
and so we had to film some promos work in the old in the Beacon, which is like the new kind of hall sort of thing, and it was like it was pretty amazing, but also very overwhelming. Just because, like,
Yeah, I bet.
wow, I'm actually good at something. I actually have to
Yeah.
appreciate that I might actually finally be good at something.
Yes, good.
Yeah,
You are.
I know, but I had to like also pose for photographs of the life size cutout of me.
What are they going to be available to
Uh,
buy at the exhibition?
I don't know. I mean, who knows? I mean, like, we did think about like kind of possibly doing like a trail of kind of Jeffs, but around different venues for like calendars.
I'm down. You know me. I'm the merch girl. I get it. Have the idea, get it into fruition. It's
Yeah,
always a good idea.
well, I think actually, to be honest, I think actually merchandise is actually an area which I think people can be really clever with. Especially if you got something good, then people will buy it. You know.
Honey, have you seen my badges?
Yeah. Oh, they're brilliant.
I'm a badge entrepreneur. It's my new career.
Yeah.
It was amazing. I labored over these t-shirt designs, and it took me ages. And I got them all printed up, and I mean, I have sold some, but the badges, quick little idea, boom,
Yeah.
out the door. My
Because
new
if you think
career.
about it, it's like people like they may not necessarily always afford like a 20, 30 quid like shirt all the time,
Yeah,
but
totally.
you know, if you've got like a badge for like 3 or 4 quid, people go, oh look, that's pocket money, you know, and
Beautiful.
actually, you know, like it's like that sort of thing where you see some of the bigger artists and they'll have like some of the more established artists sometimes on their tour they will have like a whole like wide range of merchandise really, and
I love it.
yeah, I think actually, you know, like, so whether it's like, so even someone like British Sea Power will have their own like their own Timos, like British Sea Power,
Yeah,
and
lovely.
like actually, you know, that, and they had like things where they'd have their own Kendall mint cake as well.
Oh yeah, nice. It's funny because you think, well, I make music. That's what I do, and then why should I why should I have to think of shit to sell? But in this climate, you have to, and that's why I've sort of merch for me. I love it. It's like
Yeah.
another job that I really enjoy now, and I take it quite seriously because
Mm.
and I don't. Sometimes you're like, for fuck's sake, is the music not enough?
Yeah.
But I enjoy it now. Like it
I
used to
think,
be quite tough, in it,
yeah.
but now
But,
I'm like,
but I think also the other thing is that I think that if you, it's like there's, I find it hard to describe, to explain it, but sometimes also if you do things which are slightly quirky as well, you know, like
yeah,
Nick Cave has set up his own cave shop called Cave Things,
oh great,
where,
yeah,
where he's selling bits of like his own merchandise through that. So you can get like, you can like, you know, like in Warren Ellis painted guitar picks and stuff
great.
through Nick Cave's merchandise shop.
It's a good idea that.
But I think,
Good
I think,
idea that.
I think, and I think that's, you know, a way for like, especially like younger artists for them to survive, really, isn't it? Is if you
Oh
find ways
yeah,
of like kind of like I don't know, like ways of like being able to engage with people as well.
yep, yeah. It's all part of it. It's a different sort of world now. You have to, don't know. I see it more as art in general. Everything I sort of put out, and it's sort of all part of the same kind of project.
Mm.
And yeah, I love it. Can't wait to get behind a desk at the after a gig
Yeah, I
and
got
sell it.
Like, I can't wait
coughing
to
on
see you back
people.
on
Can't
stage.
wait.
To be honest, I mean, like,
Me too.
I tell you, here's an idea of what you could do on stage, which would be brilliant. Would be like if you had like a canvas and like you were painting whilst you're singing.
Yes, that would be amazing. I could do that on the more stripped down things, or we could have
Yeah.
you painting.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely paint on
Let's have
stage.
you on stage painting.
Yeah.
Okay, let's definitely do that. I want to do more acoustic shows.
Yeah. I mean, like, have you ever thought about like, I guess using the chance to explore different areas of music that you may not have explored before, sort of thing? Because obviously, like,
Yeah,
self-esteem
definitely. Like try.
was like a massive departure from like your old band sort of thing, a slow club sort of thing.
Yeah,
Like,
defo. Like I needed to sort of establish what this was,
mm,
and but now I am kind of like solo, and I know I can do it on my own. Yeah, there's quite a few incarnations that I have planned that I want to do because I'm really into a lot of things, and I want to get to the point where I can indulge in whatever is taking my fancy that day, and
mm,
create art or records around that. But for now, I'm sticking in the self-esteem lane. Album
yeah.
2, just going to keep going because I feel like I only just got out the gate, and then the pandemic hit. So
Well, you
one
kind
of a
of
good
did
couple.
really, because like you just released like the first album sort of thing early last year, and then like so you were probably midway still through like kind of coming towards the end of touring, I guess, the first record.
Yeah, it was. We were like, okay, cool, like nice little, fun time to write the next record. Smattering of festivals, which would have been just really fun because every gig I do with the girls is so fun. So
Yeah.
it was like, oh, brilliant, lovely summer where we just hang out, once a month, go play a show. It was going to be so enjoyable and like
Yeah.
not too crazy. And then this hit, but like I keep saying, lucky is a really weird word to use, but
Mm,
I was lucky that in terms of the cycle, this was the year I was going to have to stay in a lot and do a lot of work
yeah.
just on my own. So, and luckily I've managed to do it. Like there was a version of this where I just, like I said, just pulled the plug and went, right, well, what's the point? And
Yeah.
as long as like pretty soon I'm on a stage singing, I think I will have made it out all right. But I don't know
Yeah.
how many more months I can go without
It's
somebody applauding me.
yeah. Well, something we all need that though, to be honest.
Yeah.
I feel that sometimes that maybe we don't give ourselves that, like the opportunity to say, look, hey, we're worth something, and
I know. It's very humbling and good for
yeah,
you, but also I've had enough of it now. I've had more than enough.
exactly.
I'm ready to be special again.
It's been like, I reckon you should do a Beans and Toast themes album, like
Oh
James
man,
Hankins, the ultimate James Hankins theme.
that's the dream. Me and this Hankins and I have never we've worked on a few things together, but there's something monumental I know we will make together, and
Yeah,
I don't know what it is yet, but it's definitely probably going to involve beans.
yeah, probably big old Beans and Toast with cheese or something like that, isn't it?
I think I created that
Yeah.
dynamic. I might be wrong, but I feel like I started sending James pictures of my every time I made beans on toast, and he would give me a score. And I'm pretty sure that's how it started. But I might be wrong. But I'm pretty sure it was me, just in general, asking it. It was beans on toast, but also if I ever did anything like waffles or
Yeah.
just like a good standard meal, I would
Yeah.
make sure he knew about it.
Exactly.
And
Well,
now
yeah,
it's
to be
going to be
honest.
something. It's genius.
Whereas now it's
I
like
love him.
almost every other day you get inundated with like kind of his every other day with him and be like, okay, here's some more eggs
It's
on
so great.
beans on toast.
He's a real inspiration. Like I met James probably 10 years ago on a Friends Collective festival,
Yeah.
and he was dressed as a little sailor playing a chaos pad out of a Domino's pizza box. And I was just like, who is he? Like, he's perfect. And we hung out all night, and I've never let him go since that. And I remember I got back and just Googled, like, I read his blog back to front. Like, he's just so inspiring to me as an artist, and like really changed shit for me in terms of, because I was in slow club and I didn't do any, I had no other output other than Slow Club, and it really showed me like everything is art, and you have a right to make it, and you just get off your arse and do it. And yeah, he's the very big deal for me, that that lad.
But to be honest, he's also like one of those people who he'll do something really extraordinary, but then won't say anything about it really. Like,
so cool. Is there anything cooler?
The last Olive Worms EP he did, where he set up it was brilliant because he basically made one of the videos. He made everyone costumes out of JD Sports bags, and then but then like he also set up a fake, like Sunday Times kind of website.
Yep.
Saying that the band had been sponsored by JD Sports.
Genius. He's an author. Like people, it's like he does it, and then it's someone else will, it gets massive in some other commercial sort of way. Like JD Sports bag clothes, like that's like there's a whole IKEA bag clothes thing now.
Definitely.
It's like high fashion, and it's like, oh.
I mean, that video that he did for that song was amazing, but it's like whenever it's like I remember like kind of going out some of the Howling Owl nights, and we're semi-embarrassing him by playing that song. And it's a great tune. It was brilliant. It was like we were dancing in front of him, like singing back all the words to him, and just watching him.
I love that band.
But also, I think this year he's done some of his best work. Actually, I mean, that Tim Heidecker video,
incredible.
Wow. It's just like it's up there with like kind of almost Mikhail Gondry for me.
Yeah. He's like I said, he's just incredible. Like he's a real important artist.
Yeah,
I think.
Also, like I know he's been doing. So I know that he's been also working as an editor as well on quite a few kind of projects.
Yeah. Get that bread and butter, baby.
Yeah.
It's like me with the badges, the real job.
I know, that's true, to be honest. Sometimes you do need like kind of obviously like income and like kind of balancing, I guess it's the sometimes like the struggle which a lot of creative people have is like knowing how to value their work.
Yes. Yeah. It's a weird one. Like I've sold some paintings like a few years ago, and it felt ridiculous how much they were priced at by a gallery. But they sold, and I was like, oh cool, this is how you make money from art then, I guess.
Yeah.
But I think it is important to not undersell your output, and I think that's what's this conversation about music and sort of streaming and stuff is. It's difficult because you are you spent I've just spent a year making something that I will give away essentially for free, and it is like, what industry do you do that in?
Yeah.
Not, nothing doesn't shortchange you as much as that. Am I right? In all creative industries, is it like worse?
I think it's worse in music than it is in a lot of other creative industries. I mean, like, I don't know what it's like kind of being a writer or anything like that, because like.
Yeah, I think a lot of people will write for free and then hope it gets picked up. Like there's that as a dynamic. But I think in terms of like product for free, and time spent doing it and working,
I don't agree with that either. But that's the reason why I still buy records. Like
yes,
so
good.
Like even the last couple of days. I mean, even in Bristol, I was like, right, okay, I'm only in Bristol for 2 days, so I popped by like Rough Trade, picked up a few things, and then I was like, managed to persuade my friend Tom Friend, who runs Friendly Records in North Street, to let me in for like a few hours.
You're like Kim Kardashian.
Yeah, no, I'm like the opposite.
They're letting you in the store.
They jokingly said that I was there like kind of Madonna or Michael Jackson.
You are. You're famous, dude.
It's weird thinking like that, to be honest. I mean, like, because I don't like necessarily taking it fully for granted, but I found myself actually this year probably buying more music than I have done in the past for the past few years, and I think that's a mixture of like wanting to support the artists and then also like and using things like Bandcamp because of like um I've been using Bandcamp for because I'm like making podcasts at the moment.
Right.
I've been doing like my ultimate job would be to be a radio presenter, would be to be like a radio DJ for
Yeah,
something
that's
like Six
funny.
Music sort of thing. So I was like, right, okay, if you know like I can't necessarily get a radio station, just make my own radio show.
Exactly. That's, that's a comfort for me all the time. I used to be very like jealous and like, why aren't I there or why aren't I doing
Yeah.
that? And that was part of self-esteem. Really, was I wanted to sing and dance and make a show every night, and I felt like I couldn't. And you can do anything you want. You just got, you can make your own Super Bowl halftime show,
Yeah.
standard show.
Oh, you really could.
You just do it.
You could,
And same with like.
Or you could even like pretend like implant your face onto other people's faces who are doing the show. Just like, look, I did this.
That's true. That's true. That's a different angle.
Slightly cheating.
That's a different angle, but yeah, I'll see if Hankins got space to edit me into.
That's definitely the sort of thing which Hankins would definitely do, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just
edit me getting a Mercury nomination.
Yeah. Or like edit,
just pretend
like,
it.
Yeah, or like edit, or he'd edit himself onto someone else's body, doing like full on dance workout routines.
Well, there's still some time left in lockdown, so
yeah, who knows? But I think the thing is that you can, but I think it also makes you think of like, I guess working within limitations and actually what you can actually do, and then probably makes you realize you probably do more than you think.
What do you mean?
Like sipping, well, it's like sipping like some of the films which I've kind of made have all been made in like the space of a month, sort of thing. But then also I kind of quite enjoy sometimes working within limitations because I tend to find that having like a finishing date is a very positive thing. Then that means things get done.
No, yeah, really true. Yeah, I kind of, I'm like just working really hard now. So when the world is turning again, I'm just coming out of the gate really strong with everything in place. And I mean, when are you going to get the chance to do that again? Really, like when does the world totally stop? Not that it's a chance, not that it's an opportunity, not that it's a good thing at all. But you've got two choices in these kind of situations, and it's like give in or really manipulate and use it for your gain. And that's,
I think manipulate is the best way, because I think also like you could also take things of like I found the first lockdown, I was reflecting much more about the environment and about like kind of like the fact of like kind of like walking through Bristol and you could hear no traffic and you just hear birds. But then it was also like kind of made you realize actually how much our lives are impacted by the noise that we surround ourselves with.
Mm-hmm.
And that sometimes, like as if in hearing birds, like as if it encourages you to look upwards. And it's so easy to like kind of look down all the time.
Totally, I'm always looking down and listening to my own music.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like something, like I was actually timing I used to like kind of go out for walks in the evening, and I'd be timing my walk to whoever would be like doing a live stream performance at that time. So
that's nice.
So it could be everything from like This is the Kit, Richard Thompson, through to like 20th Century Media. We're doing one which is like kind of black metal and like kind of basically it's like whatever took my fancies. But like, okay, the thing is though, was I've never had any headphones with me, so everyone could hear everything, whatever it was I was listening to. Like
wow.
Like as if in on like something like those stereos which people have like connected to their bikes.
Yeah. One of those guys.
Yeah, but I was like, I'd be blowing it out from my phone. So, but I was also trying to observe how, or whether, like kind of the birds around me how they were reacting to it as well.
Yeah.
or if they're reacting.
I bet they like This Is the Kit.
Probably.
Feels like
Yeah.
a band a nice little bird would like.
They're,
I like, it's really beautiful, isn't it?
oh man, it's lovely. That's the thing is that, I mean, I had the pleasure of chatting to her on one of these things, and I think she's probably the longest one I had.
Oh yeah.
Well, we had to re-record it because like the first time we didn't record, that was like 3 hours. So like,
Oh no.
the second one was like almost two, it was like 2.5 hours. So if you
Oh
put
God.
the two together, that'd be the length of like a George Lucas action movie extravaganza.
Yeah.
You
And for
know,
some people, you know, that's going to be, as you know, kit heads are going to love that.
yeah. I mean, look, to be honest, it's like I've been really lucky to like to call her and you like people like my friends really.
Yeah,
You
defo.
know,
Yeah, it's nice to see you.
but it's like different. I mean, like, and I do feel like kind of. I think there's something about the way that she writes where it almost feel. I know it's going to sound a bit pretentious, but it does feel slightly naive until you really listen to what she's singing.
Yeah.
Sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's got there's that kind of like she can be angry, but she can do it in a way which is like still really charming.
Yes, totally. So nice. I just sound angry.
Yeah, but then the thing is,
My new album's very angry.
but then you've got to be honest to yourself, and that's the thing is that
Yeah.
you know like I define music as like only being two genres of music, good or bad. But it's like good. Does it make you feel something? Even if it sometimes makes you laugh. You know, like
Oh, exactly.
like I found myself.
I would rather people hate it.
Yeah, but I think the thing is, it's like someone's going to be like someone's rubbish to somebody. It's going to be gold to someone else.
Exactly, definitely.
It's like
Exactly.
I had something yesterday which slightly blew my mind. I heard David Hasselhoff's metal single, and it's amazing. Yes.
What's it called?
It's cool. I think it's called like "Shine Through the Night." I think.
Okay, I'm writing down.
It's him with the Austrian metal duo.
Right.
And it's well, to be honest, it's kind of everything you want from the Hoff and so much more. To be honest, I mean, like.
Okay. Thanks for the tip off.
There's been certain weird.
Needs Discovery Weekly.
Well, yeah, but there's been certain weird cult personalities who've had like kind of strange resurgences. One of them being Nicolas Cage, who's like, recent like kind of Mandy and like the Color in the Shape of Space, and then like he's been announced to do a couple of series for Netflix. So he's doing the is it the Tiger King? He's
oh
like
yeah,
trained.
he is. Yeah, that'd be great.
But then also got announced yesterday that he's doing a series on the history of swearing, like where swear words originate from. But then also to find out that David Hasselhoff, who last year made his first kind of comeback record, because he did it was the 30th anniversary of the fall of the Berlin Wall.
Oh God, yeah, of course.
Of course, the Hoff performed at helped take down the wall, didn't he?
Perfect.
With that flashing suit with LEDs. So he released. Oh
my God.
So last year he released. It was like kind of towards the end of last year he released a kind of like a covers album, where it was him covering mostly a mix of lots of 80s new wave and like kind of post-punk kind of classics.
Really?
And then through to like kind of so it's like kind of doing stuff like Lords of the New Eyes, Open Up Your Eyes, and
wow.
What did he do? He did like Jesus and Mary Chain, and
David Hasselhoff.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, I have to go and Google this.
Oh, it's insane because like it features him doing David Bowie's Heroes half in German. You know.
I'm thinking maybe this caused the pandemic.
Yeah, probably.
I think I've got a feeling.
But then also like, but the best of the lot though was that he collaborated with Ministry, doing Sweet Caroline by Neil Diamond.
Oh my God. Wow. I mean, there's no point in any more music being made after this.
It's like, you listen to that, it's just like, wow, okay.
Yeah. This is what we were all heading towards.
Yeah,
I'll
exactly.
check it out there.
It's a great way to settle peace talk to the future. Just send in the half, sing for freedom.
Definitely. Well,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Google that.
Yeah, definitely do, because it's well worth watching. It's also like well worth checking out David Bowie. I mean, like the promo shot which they had for the single as well is amazing, because they got him doing like the devil horns. It's like him with the
Oh,
serious
my
face,
favorite.
all like Knight Rider like.
Nice. That's my favorite thing to do.
Come on, let's face it, it's like everyone's favorite thing.
Oh,
It's to do the rock horns, because like
girls for a while were doing this, and I'm like, nah, it's all about this.
yeah, I've kind of like I've kind of been like a various different hand signals really. Especially also when I was at like shows in clubs, I used to use a lot of hand signals as a way of like communication, and sometimes even dancing, because I'd be too scared to talk to people.
Yeah. Have you done any dancing this year?
I've done a bit, not as much as I would have done, because also I've been having issues with my ankles as well. So
right.
I've had issues for the past few years with ulcers on my ankles, so it's been
right. Okay.
That's definitely slowed me down a bit.
Yeah.
So I've definitely been missing going out dancing. But I mean, like
it's coming back.
Yeah, but I mean, like the first few times I saw you, I probably would be too scared to say hello to you.
No.
Too awkward.
No, never again.
Well, the fact. Well, that's changed, but a little bit. But yeah, because the first time I would have seen you would have been 13 years ago at the Fat Club.
Bloody hell.
With the Macy and with
wave pictures.
Wave pictures, yeah.
I remember that gig, and I don't remember many things.
That was a fun show.
Oh yeah, the Macy is still one of my favorite all-time ever bands.
Yeah.
Like again, they were really inspiring to me and changed my shit when I met them. Like in terms of their ethos and like what why they make music.
Their whole performance reminded me a bit of Le Savy Fab.
Yeah,
the way they performed, because their whole thing was like, right, okay, we don't just treat one spot as the stage, we treat the whole room as a stage.
Yeah, so good.
It's like, because I saw them like a couple of times, because I saw them at that show, but then I saw them like not like the year afterwards or something. And it was still exactly the same. They got out like the huge parachute, they got everyone involved, they got everyone, kind of like, it felt like as if in like a kind of joyous celebration in a most, but being soundtracked by a weird kind of slightly awkward post-punk band.
Yeah, but also melodically, I think they had some really beautiful melodies. And I love that band. I love that band. Still do.
I sometimes find myself singing "Accidentally Run into the Graves."
Yeah. Did you ever hear my cover?
No, I didn't hear that at all.
So I did a cover of it, and then I would never do this now.
Why?
This is how young and full of life I was. I went on tour with them just like for fun on my own, and would play my cover and play some like percussion and stuff. But yeah, I went across America with them. I love them so much that I performed for free with them.
Wow.
Which I would not do now.
But then the thing is, that gives you life experiences as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, they like I said, they were very important to me. Yeah.
I think also the fact is that when you're younger, you do have a certain level of naivety, sort of thing, and maybe it's only like when you're older that you realise that you probably should have gone, hey, can I be paid maybe a little bit or something?
Yeah, I mean, I'm joking about money. It's more the I mind you saying that now, like I wouldn't choose to sit in a van doing 10-hour drives anymore. No. Whereas when I was 21, I was like, I'm living my life, this is rock and roll. But I think just as you get older, your patience wavers and you're like certainly my ability to feel uncomfortable in a van is a lot shorter. But no, I would do it all for free. And it is experience and learning how to be on a stage.
Also, but then also it's a way of like kind of seeing the world or seeing different aspects to the world that you may not see if you were to
Definitely.
choose to live like another life.
Oh man, I think about it all the time. Like, would I have been happier doing something more normal, or with more routine, or with pension options? But it's too
Nah,
late now.
I don't think you would have. I don't think you would have, to be honest. Because to me,
Nah.
yeah, I think that's the thing. Is I think that I mean, like it's a bit like the same as me, sort of thing. Would I be happy doing a 9 to 5 job? No. It's like
No.
because I've also because I find they probably take the energy away from the things which I love. You know,
Yes. Yeah.
so like I mean, like so I love doing painting. I love being creative. I love kind of going to shows, feeling like kind of raw energy. I mean, sometimes there've been some shows where I've been unable to sleep afterwards because I've got way too
I
excited.
know. Yeah. The adrenaline. Yeah.
I think, yeah, I think like the last time I had that kind of adrenaline was probably seeing someone like More Mother, who's like a really intense, like a beat poet sort of thing.
Oh wow. Yeah. Yeah. That's gonna. Who?
Yeah,
More mother.
More Mother's great. She's like from Washington D.C.
I've got a little list, you see, that I write everything I need to check out on, and I've added um David Hasselhoff and more mother.
Yeah, you never thought that you'd be talking about David Hasselhoff.
No, and I'm very glad to have been. Anything else I should add to the list?
Well,
Anything
it's
else you
definitely
think I'd
had,
like?
well, one of my favourite records has been Ganza. There's a band called Ganza here from Chicago
Okay.
that I discovered during the first lockdown, and I just went, wow, this is really good. And
Great.
so I dropped them a message saying, hey, do you fancy having a conversation? Effectively. Then they'd be
Yeah.
like, oh, look, a few days later, we were both on Zoom. Kind of like, I was
Brilliant.
chatting to like because they're like a co-female fronted post-punk outfit.
Okay,
And
great.
yeah, the new record like takes in lots of stuff like Jesus Lizard, e kind of style sounds.
Yeah.
Then like there's one in particular song which I fell in love with. This is the last song on the record, but it feels like as if they're doing like a James Bond theme song.
Oh, sick. Love
And
that.
they've got like a bit of a brass section on it, and it's just like, okay, yep, throw my hands in the air. This is the sort of thing which I'm going to throw into any of my discos.
Yes. Oh wow, I'll check them out definitely.
Yeah, I love them, and I really liked. I mean, there's been a few things. Like I got really obsessed with the Kylie single.
Oh, I've
Her
heard
new
really
record,
good things about it. I've
it's
not
her
actually
new
heard it yet.
record's really good. But Say Something is definitely one of my favourite songs of the year.
Amazing. I'm putting that straight on. I love that she's still, going and making amazing stuff that people really like. Like, obviously for me, it's very hopeful that I can still be putting records out,
Yeah,
in my 50s, whatnot. Is
yeah. I
she the
mean, but
50s?
yep, she's 52. She's the first. I think she's the first female artist to have a #1 record in all 5 decades.
Oh, that's so great.
It's like
That is
her
so
first
good.
album was 1989, so that'd be the
Yeah.
80s. So the
Yeah, man.
90s, to early 2000s, 2010s, and then 2020.
That
I
is
mean, to be
so
honest, like
cool.
the song "Say Something" is freaking great. It's like
I'm gonna check it out.
I'll unabashedly say that it's a bit of a definitely a pop banger. Because
Yes,
like,
Jeffrey. Yes.
um, it's
Nothing better than
definitely
a pop banger.
it's definitely got like a Christina and Queens sort of feel to it, and it's like got a bit of like, I mean, like because I saw her live stream as well, and I was like, "Hello, Studio 54 is being recreated."
Oh, really? Oh, great. That's a genius vibe.
So it's definitely like there's bits of like kind of Giorgio Moroder, there's bits of like kind of like Chic and Nile Rodgers.
Yeah.
There's even one song which sounded a bit like kind of Gamble and Huff, so it's almost like slightly syrupy. So I was
Wow,
just like,
they've nailed it then.
yeah. Well, to be honest, with someone like her, you'd expect her to be able to call up like some of the best producers and songwriters, really.
Yeah, I think though, probably before you start a record like that, you have to go, okay, what is the world, and what, like the vibe and the inspiration, and how we're doing this? Because I think like comebacks are,
Yeah.
or probably when you've been very, very massive,
Mm.
quite scary. Like
Yeah.
luckily my career has just been like So I've never had to go like,
But actually, what I found is actually that I find it really interesting that sometimes I'm drawn to artists who occasionally have like longevity, like slow building careers.
yeah,
You know, like or like there's people like PJ Harvey and Nick Cave. They
yeah,
started
totally.
admittedly at one level, but then they've gradually kind of got bigger over time. I
That's
think,
my plan.
yeah, but I think that there's no shame in it because I think sometimes I feel that sometimes people look at music and they go, "Oh, it's all about young people." It's like, no, not necessarily. I mean, like when you look at like, okay, admittedly, and probably most of the artists are probably going to think of probably more male. Like, so the fastest selling record of the year was Bruce Springsteen, and he's not
Amazing.
exactly young. He's like 75.
He's the best though. So
Yeah.
yeah, as long as you're good, you can be old.
Yeah, but the thing is, I saw like I think it's like classic Glastonbury moments sort of thing. I remember seeing
Oh yeah.
I was at the Glastonbury 2009, so it was like kind of the headliners were Neil Young, Bruce Springsteen, and Blur, which
Wow.
was like three main stage
Oh, that's
headliners.
heaven.
That is like I mean like
That,
I mean like you can actually see me on the footage of Neil Young from the Glastonbury footage.
can you?
Yeah, because I was right on the barrier,
Awesome.
rocking out to keep on rocking in the free world.
Oh,
You know,
heaven.
he did that 12 times over. He did that, well, 4 times over. So it's like 12 minutes long of keep on rocking in the free world. And then,
You're
like,
just rocking in that free world.
I mean, Neil Young was like, probably for me, one of the most ultimate rock and roll things I'd seen on the main stage at Glastonbury. Was he had a 24 bell dulcimer that he basically smashed on stage whilst covering the
What?
Beatles, doing a day in the life.
See, that's what I want to aspire to. I want to go, do you know what I want to do?
I want a dulcimer which I could break every single night for like
Yep,
30, 40 nights. No dulcimer, no show.
exactly. And people on the end of the line like, yeah, no problems. We'll sort that out for you, Rebecca. At the
Yeah,
moment, it's like, I don't think don't think that's going to be possible. And I'm like, okay, fine, no matter. But one day,
yeah.
I'll be smashing whatever I want every night of the week.
Well, maybe you should do this. You turn it into like an art form, like smashing a load of plates. I put
Well,
contact
there's some
mics on the
smashing
front.
going on.
Yeah.
There is some smashing going on in this and in my first single that's coming out, but I can't say anything more than that.
Okay,
But
that's fair
yeah,
enough.
there's an exclusive for
Is
you
it
there.
related to actually what the song's about?
Oh yeah. There's a lot of
Okay.
aggression. There's a lot of anger.
Yeah. I remember like the Sunday at that Glastonbury. So I remember like obviously Blur headlining, and I was on the footage for Blur as well. But
Yeah.
I remember
Wow.
Blur being upstaged by a certain Nick Cave.
Oh really?
Like, yeah, because I remember like Nick Cave was on before them, and just like what Nick Cave set being so powerful
Was
and so
it? Was it?
intense because it was the first time I'd seen him play live, and I was just like, I
Wow.
just remember just like being stood there like with my jaw open, going like, oh wait,
Oh
just
my
like I went
god.
back afterwards because it took me about 40 minutes to calm down afterwards,
Oh,
you know.
incredible.
Because if you think about it, it's also like having like synesthesia and like Warren Ellis's intense mandolin playing when he puts it through like distortion effects and stuff.
Oh
And
baby.
like, it was probably making me freak out. I think it was making people around me slightly terrified.
Good.
It was really funny. So also like on the Sunday they have all the families there, the deck chairs. So they're all there, like kind of like around me, trying to watch like Nick Cave nicely, whereas I was like kind of freaking out, almost grabbing things, chucking
I like
them.
the banjo.
Yeah, pretty much.
I love that. I
Yeah,
love that.
I mean, like that's the thing. I said I wouldn't probably be able to express that side of me if it wasn't for having people make music. You know, so it's like I
Yeah.
can't exist without the people who are willing to put their lives on stage.
Great. And we can't exist without you.
I know,
I love
unfortunately.
it.
I don't know
No,
if
it's an honor.
yeah.
It's a pleasure.
Sometimes I feel like I get a little overly flattered in that way.
No, you and everyone or any audience that wants to come and sort of enjoy. It's a weird transaction in a way where they one can't live. You need each other, and I think this year's been really amazing to see how much live music brings to an audience's life. Like, I think people really desperately needing it is shown me how cool it is that I do it. Like, I didn't realize. I think I got very jaded by live music and other music in general, and now I'm like, oh god, it's so powerful and so amazing, and no amount of like TikTok can
Well, also
make me
what I've noticed is that whenever I'm watching kind of live streams, is that no matter what time they're on, I've got to watch them when they're being premiered, because then I can join in with the fans and I can banter with them. And it's like watching, so nice. Like, kind of like my friend Katie J. Pearson doing a live stream from the Louisiana, and like, even though it was all pre-recorded, because like she was in the comment section, and so it'd be like, but I find myself actually bantering with people, or like staying up till like 3 o'clock in the morning to watch Dinosaur Junior.
Oh,
because it'd be going out live, and then you'd see all the comments like flashing up, and it'd be like, "Oh fuck, it's you." Okay, that means we can crack bad jokes then.
Yeah.
And like actually still get like a slight like a kind of shared experience in a way where it's not necessarily being in the same room. Well, even some of the artists aren't actually in the same room. Quite often when they're doing like pre-recorded stuff, they're kind of all in different rooms.
Yeah.
I mean, like I remember one. So there's been several times when I've nearly accidentally broken my computer because of either accidentally getting overexcited and like kind of punching the screen or something.
No, Apple Care.
Well, it's like when they had the Bristol. Well, when they had the first, they had like a Bristol Takeover All Day thing, and it was a really amazing lineup. They had stuff like Melt Yourself Down, Rachel Dad, and it was about halfway through Melt Yourself Down set when they started to play. There's a song called Fix Yourself Today.
Right.
And they literally started the intro, and I found myself completely freaking out. So literally, I almost did kind of like find myself kind of almost breaking my computer with overexcitement.
That's amazing that you can it still affects you in that way, and you can recreate that excitement.
Yeah,
powerful.
It's not quite the same as being in the actual room, because then you can actually say hello to people and actually kind of. Even though you can't actually hug people, you got to elbow people.
Yeah, that'll be nice. Nice.
But could you imagine being like a hip hop rap, like being a rapper or like an emo singer, trying to high elbow the entire audience?
High elbow. That's the new norm.
How many people do you reckon would you accidentally take out with a high elbow?
Oh dear, I dread to think.
Yeah, I think it would be quite a few. I think, especially if you're running along a line.
Yeah, I don't think everyone. I want to. Yeah, the insurance probably won't cover that.
Probably wouldn't.
For me.
I think. Also, remember, I've a really weird, like, kind of flashback. Do you remember doing? It was a show in Castle Park in Bristol, in the bandstand. It was like some sun cream kind of sponsorship thing, with like Jamila Jamil.
Yeah.
Like, yes. Presenting it.
Yes. I do remember that. And there was a naked bike ride?
Yeah.
The same
day?
Which
rode past whilst we were playing. I think there's only about 10 people turned up or something.
I do remember this.
I do remember it being really sparse. And I remember like, I remember like that it was like kind of, I think it might have been like 2009-ish.
Flipping heck, yeah. Yeah, it will have been.
Yeah.
We said yes to everything.
Yeah, so it was you guys, it was like Gold Heart Assembly. I remember being really good. I can't remember who else it was, but it was definitely one of those kind of slightly odd things. It's like, as if in like the presenter literally looked like she just walked up a set of skins or something.
Oh yeah, she didn't give a shit. She didn't know what we were called or anything.
Yeah.
But that's fair enough.
But to be honest, she's like a typical T4 model presenter though.
Yeah. Yeah, those weird gigs. But I'm pretty good at them. I love it. Yeah. I actually quite like an awkward, strange setting where you have to win a crowd over.
Sometimes that's where you work best, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be lovely to not have to do that,
I mean, like,
but I'm glad you know, all those years in a sort of acoustic duo, supporting a lot of people, like definitely learn how to what makes something interesting on stage and worth looking up, or not
well,
going to the bog during,
yeah. But then also in the way, like, kind of, it's like how to like engage with an audience as well. Is actually like it's really important to hone that craft. But it's like it's definitely not the weirdest or worst performance I've seen at Castle Park either.
No.
The worst, and it was like probably one of the worst gigs I've ever seen.
Go on.
This is Jack Johnson at Bristol Pride.
Oh wow.
Exactly. It was
Oh god.
that would have been like I think that was like 2012 or something. He
Picture
literally
that
turned
planning
up
meeting.
unannounced as a guest and literally kind of I think he literally turned up and like the person who's introducing go like they're like we've got Jack Johnson here to entertain you now. And
Ladies and gentlemen.
yeah, but he was awful. He was like
Oh god.
I think he was like really high. So I think
Yeah, I was
that
gonna say I bet he was
yeah. Well, he
having
didn't
a
play
good
any
time
recognizable.
personally.
Him and his ukulele player didn't play any recognizable songs for like the 10 minutes which they were on stage.
What year was this?
Yeah,
I
it was
love
like
this.
it would have been about 2012 or 13 or something. And it's like it was
Beautiful.
one of those pinch me moments because they're like kind of like going, "Is this really happening?"
I'd love to be at the planning meeting for that, where they were like, do you know who would go down great?
No, I think he literally worked. At least I think he just turned up at the festival and just said that he's playing.
Oh wow.
Because it was like last minute addition to the bill. It's like
Wow.
it's like
I
it
love
wasn't
that.
even. It was literally. I think he literally just like could have turned up with his guitar and stuff, and it was just like it was. I mean, like to be honest, you've got to be really, really bad not to get a round of applause at Bristol Pride, and that's one of the most empathetic audiences. And so the
Oh
fact
god,
that
yeah.
and the thing is that so the fact that he didn't just not get a round of applause, but he managed to clear the entire field in like 5
Iconic.
minutes. It was like watching tumbleweed blowing across the stage. It's like
Glittery tumbleweed.
okay, yeah. It was like watching it kind of like just like going, Jesus Christ!
Oh wow.
Like I'm probably the only person who ever remembers it because like
I
think
think
the
I bet
people who
Jack
were there were
does.
pinching themselves with disbelief, going, "This is." But then
Oh
again,
my god.
it's a bit like watching Macaulay Culkin's Pizza Underground as well.
Oh yeah, I've never seen them. I like the idea.
The idea is great, but the reality, no.
No,
I think
not so much.
having witnessed it, I mean, it was kind of funny for
Yeah.
like it's been like for about 15 minutes, but then after a while you just go, no. It's like
That's
the
the
charm
problem
of
with
watching,
parody.
the
Yeah.
charm of watching stoned people bashing pizza bottle lids whilst doing the world's most obvious Velvet Underground parodies you could kind of imagine. It's like taking
Yeah.
bugs on the wild side. I mean, they got bottled off stage, literally, in Nottingham
Oh, there's no
at
need
Dr.
for
Dog.
that. But you're
So,
right.
yeah.
15 minutes and out. Yeah.
Well, I think the thing is that usually you can usually tell within, so me when I'm listening to stuff, I can usually tell within the first 10 seconds whether I like something, whether something grabs me. You know, it doesn't necessarily have to
Yeah.
be best recorded or best mixed. But if there's an energy which I can pick up and I go, yep, I agree with this.
Yeah. You should have a label, Jeff.
Yeah, I probably signed him, but probably too much other stuff, I think. I think that's the thing is I'm finding that I'm now actually getting sent music as well.
Yeah.
He's doing the podcast. So I've just got I got given like a record yesterday by an artist called Tamar Afak, and it's really good. It's
Oh,
coming out
wow.
on Kill Rockstars in the end of January.
Who's that? Say it. Tell me again.
Tamar Afak.
AFAB.
Yeah, Afak, so it's Aphek.
Oh, cool.
And she's great. She's a like an Israeli psych shoegaze artist, and she can
Okay.
but she also like kind of blends in element. But she comes from like a jazz background, So she blends in elements of like kind of free jazz in with it as well.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's really.
I'll check
It's just,
her out too.
it's one of those things where I just like, I, it's like within the first few seconds I heard the drums, it went, this is interesting.
You're like, yeah,
This,
I'm
this,
in.
this is going interesting. Then when she starts singing, it's like, yep, sold.
Oh, cool. Well,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go, Jeff, but you've
Oh,
given
lovely
me
to
a
see you,
lot
Rebecca.
to this has been lovely. One of
Yeah,
my
you too.
favorite Zooms I've had.
Well, hey,
Definitely. It's
it's
so
definitely
lovely
been
to see you.
you too, Rebecca. Please look after yourself.
And yes, you too. And I think it'll be, I reckon I'll see you at In-Store in like March. I'm going to
Hopefully,
say that now.
fingers crossed.
Maybe April. But let's hope it's March.
You never know. It might be, but you never know. It might be on a tour somewhere.
Oh, please.
Yeah.
Well, have a lovely Christmas.
Yeah, you too, Rebecca. Please look after yourself. Send love to your
you
folks.
too, darling. Thank you. Bye-bye.